So Whistler, 2012, that trip made me realize that I wanted to start Unno.
Four days of continuous rain have made round two a muddy, treacherous track in a resort that is famous. Best result of the season.
Starting racing in the late 90s is definitely very different to race today. I remember that you were lucky if everything in your bike was functioning at that time. Brakes were sometimes optional. They were actually cross-country parts modified to do downhill. But I have to say that in the late 90s, downhill started to evolve pretty quickly. So bikes soon becoming more long travel, triple clamp, forks. But definitely when we started, suspension was not very fashionable. It was a big challenge, the bike itself. While today you don't even think about the bike, just focus on racing. Well, back then you need to take good care of your bike. Taking apart the bike, checking how things worked, and trying to make them a bit better myself. Spent a lot of hours in the garage. I always was very engaged with knowing how things worked. I didn't have any vision for it. Actually, I never planned to start Cero. Cero just happened because I was racing. At the time is when I started racing back with Mondraker, so I was doing the Mondraker project like a freelancer. I had hired a designer, then I hired another person, and then, well, maybe now that we're three, it makes sense to create a company. And actually then Cero happened, but that was it. Like, it was never really planned, it just came organically. Probably the first time I thought about creating a bicycle brand was when I started to race, but more like a dream, but you won't even never become a reality. But when I was playing and tweaking around with the bikes, I thought, one day maybe I have my own bike. When I was in the university, that was the very first thing I did. I did already a bicycle. It was actually Orange, helped me to make them happen. The bikes were terrible. And then the opportunity came with Mondraker. The previous years I was trying to race World Cups again and full-time job. So once I was injured, I couldn't train. A lot of time to think about it. A lot of ideas started coming to my head, how I can make the bikes better. At that time, we only were working for Mondraker. So if that work stopped, we'll stop forever designing bikes. So I didn't for sure want to stop that. So Whistler, 2012, yeah, we're riding bikes with some friends. I think at that time is where the relationship with Mondraker was cooling down a little bit, and I want to have something to continue to pursue the ideas that I had and how to showcase all the knowledge and all the improvements that I would do with bikes. So I decided, okay, I want to start doing something. At that time I didn't know if it was going to be Unno or it was just going to be like one bike that I will design for myself. But I know that I started already there designing the kinematics and start looking how it could look. And so, yeah, it was a very special trip because in a way that's what started Unno. Unno was born to do whatever we would like to do, like no limitations. I think that was the whole point. We could be free and decide whatever we want, and that gives Unno this flexibility, and I think this is one of the really things that I like about this project.
Unno is a product-driven brand. How hard it is to work this way because we're committed to product and we think around it. We have to adapt everything to it, which is the vision we share all, but of course it has challenges.
Do I see Unno as a boutique R&D lab? In a way, that's how it was born, but not in the wrong way. You could think of a lab of experiment and trying out and letting the users get you the problems and then you solve it later. I think it's more that we're doing what others don't do, but obviously because we're spending way more time in R&D that others do, just because also we develop almost one, maybe two projects a year with a team that is bigger than brands that develop 3-4 a year. So this means we dedicate a lot more time to experiment and to try.
I would say César is restless. Working with him so many years, I realized his mind is in constant movement. Having César as a test rider was useful, of course, demanding also. Every day we received some prototypes, engineers tested them, assembled on the bike. He took the bike the same day and tested it. The next morning you arrived and you got an email with all the details and the feedback and ideas on how to change or improve. So this was quite a fast loop on feedback. It has been demanding for everybody, like César has been riding in the night because of timings, and engineers have been putting a lot of hours to changes and this feedback. When I joined Unno, what I saw at the first moment, it's bike, it's the center of it, it's 100%. Like product-wise, leads and drives the company and the brand. This seems like something that should be normal, but it's not. Like companies have different areas and different scenarios where they position themselves in the market, while Unno is a product-driven brand. This can be seen at the first glance. It took me longer to realize is how hard it is to work this way because we're committed to product and we think around it. Like we have to adapt everything to it, which is the vision we share all, but of course it has challenges.